You've got teens who love TikTok, who know CapCut better than you, and are making videos all summer long. What if this summer, rather than just discipling them, you actually turn them into influencers who are reaching their peers for Jesus through social media? Welcome, my friends, to the Hybrid Ministry Show. Well, hey everyone, welcome to the Hybrid Ministry Show. If you and I haven't had a chance to meet yet, my name is Nick Clason, the host of this here Hybrid Ministry podcast. And in this episode, I want to talk about why you should train teen editors to edit and to manage your social media content, why summer is the perfect window to do that. Also, how do you stay active on social media while you're in the midst of building up a team? And finally, I have the ultimate and most perfect solution for you. So be sure to stick around to the very end of the video. But the reason why you should be leaning into teenagers on social media is because according to Pew Research, a recent study showed that 90% of teens and an even earlier study showed that 95% of them spent regular time on YouTube. Not to mention the fact that they use their mobile device, Gen Z, more than any other device combined. And I think the screen time is up to an average of 7+ hours per day, which is the equivalent of watching the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy every single day. And so this is where teenagers are. And the fact is, you and I work as youth pastors in a day and age where we can reach teenagers through their screens and through their devices. And so you should train teenagers to do that, because you might not be well versed in it, you might not be very good at it, and C, probably most importantly, you have other things to do. You got sermons to write, you got leaders to develop, you got bosses to meet with, you got students to grab coffee with, you have plenty of other things going on. In the meantime, you still should be reaching teenagers, reaching students, and being present on your church's social media platform. In addition to that, it helps give students development and leadership and ownership. You know, according to the study Growing Young by Fuller Youth Institute, they said that key chain leadership was a key for students who grew up in youth group but also chose to stick around in youth group after they graduated from high school. So what actual areas of leadership and ownership are you handing to your teenagers? And the fact is, school is gone. Students have more windows of availability. You should be teaching and training your students this summer to take your social media platform so that once you hit the fall, you are off to the races and you hit the ground running with students managing and editing it. In fact, last summer, I remember I was sitting there, we had an intern on our staff, and then his younger brother was in 6th grade, maybe 7th grade. And they were just like sitting around. We were cleaning up after the night. And so his younger brother was still in the building with, the rest of our team helping and just kind of hanging out, waiting for his brother to be ready to take him home. And I looked at him and I said, "Hey, you want to learn how to edit TikTok videos?" And he's like, "Sure." I was like, "Have you ever done it before?" He's like, "No." And I was like, "All right, sweet." I said, "Come in tomorrow, see if your brother or your mom can take you, have them text me, and we'll get you set up, we'll get you editing." And so he came in the next day. We happened to have the luxury of having a spare computer sitting around, and I showed him how to edit. And actually, teaser, if you go and grab my summer social media pack, you'll see that 2 of the bonus pieces of content are things called drafts, where you go back and forth with a student or with another person, and a game called 7 Questions. And so I got him set up editing that game, 7 Questions. Real easy. I used Adobe Premiere Pro. I taught him how to use it. That's what I use. So I taught him how to use what I know how to use. And he was slow at first. He had a lot of questions, but I kid you not, this is not an exaggeration. This last week, we haven't been meeting on Wednesday nights. And so fast forward in the story, after he got up and running, he pretty much comes in every single Wednesday and edits for me. He's homeschool. He comes in around 2 or 3 o'clock. He brings his dinner and he edits until youth group gets started around 6. So he sits there for 2 or 3 hours, and we repaid him with free summer camp this year, or we'll let him get snacks out of the leader workroom. And so we haven't been meeting on Wednesdays for the last several weeks. If you're a subscriber on my Hybrid Heroes Patreon membership tier, you know that. We're back now, but I called up his mom and I said, "Hey, listen, like, we haven't had a brand new edit for some of our social content in nearly 5 weeks. Can you please send him?" And the reason I tell you that is because I want you to notice and see how reliant I actually have become on student editors. Like, I don't touch edits anymore. And so the downside is I've filled my time with other things. And so if I don't have a student come in and edit, we're in a little bit of a hole. However, he's been incredibly helpful with that. And so he's taken it taken it for us and kind of, gone off to the races with that. And so student editors are amazing. And this summer, while they have more free time, if you choose to carve out a little bit of time, train up leaders, create a strategy for them, like help them understand and know what's next, you can hand it off to them full stop. I genuinely mean it because I've seen it happen in my own context. But now you might be thinking, like, what is a good strategy? Like, what should we be doing? I'm glad you asked. Actually, link down below is my free hybrid strategy guide. It will tell you exactly what we do. But if you buy my seasonal summer social media pack for only $17.99, it's the cost of less than 7 cents per post idea. It will cover 3 months worth of posting, or better yet, become a Patreon member, get my weekly bonus podcast where I recap everything we've done and you get that resource for free. It will actually give you a 3 post per week strategy. And there's 2 sections of it. The first section of it is done for you, which means you don't have to think about it. The graphics work no matter what context you're in. You download and you upload and you're off to the races. You're done. The custom for you does require a little bit more work, and that right there is something that you could genuinely hand off to a teenager. There's devotional content, there's Bible trivia content, there's man on the street content. You can let your teenagers do all of those things, and they can own that, and you can just cut them loose to run wild with it. Maybe my custom for you ideas give them a springboard, but then they have better ideas. They should. I'm 35 years old. I have gray in my beard. There's no way that a teenager in Gen Alpha, Gen Z doesn't have better ideas than I do. But my strategy will help give you like the track that you want your teenagers to stay on. And then this pack will help you hand off to teenagers to actually take it and actually run with it. And for less than $20, you can have 3 months worth of content. It is so worth it. And that strategy will run not only in the background as you are getting your teenagers up to snuff and as you're getting them trained and as you're getting them off to the races, but then additionally, it will give them something to continue to lean into and to own and to create that key chain style of leadership. You and I know this. The Apostle Paul says our job is to equip the saints for the works and for the acts of service. Your job is not to run a social media channel and to be a social media manager, but you have teenagers who are interested in it and would really be good at it. And so why don't you take the opportunity to level them up and to hand off a serving opportunity? The last thing I'll land with is this: is our student social media team is our biggest and most energetic team, serving team in our entire student ministry. Kids clamor to be on it. And so if you want to get kids involved in serving, because we know how important serving is, not only for their retention long-term and remaining involved in youth ministry, but also for their long-term development of their faith. If you want to do that, you need to start having a social media strategy and one that you can hand off to students and teenagers. And this pack will help you do that. Well, hey, my friends, so glad that you're here. Don't forget, and as always, link down in the description to everything that we talked about. Make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss a single another episode the rest of this summer. But until next time, and as always, don't forget to stay hybrid.